Back in 1982, I moved down to Naples, Florida with my girlfriend Terry Long and her three kids, Amy, Brandy, and Shannon. I was at Akron General Hospital in Akron, Ohio, the same hospital I was in. I was born in, Akron General Hospital. I was there for Shannon's birth. Terry was pregnant with Shannon when I met her. About 4 months pregnant. I didn't even know at first. She and I saw ELO, Electric Light Orchestra, preferred time. Time. Jeff Flynn, Blue Bible. This is the old ELO. Before the change, the trial. This is 1981. Then she wanted to move down to Naples, Florida to be with her parents who just moved there. We took her parents' house over in Akron, right across from Goodyear High School. Right, Lafayette Avenue was where I was born. I grew up for 3 years in Lafayette Avenue and moved to Moon Township in 1960. On Terry's birthday, February 12th, 1960, I might have been going on 4, I guess. I was born June 19th, 1956. So I was going on 4 years old. Moved to Moon Township. Then Hyde Park, 3005 Notting Hill Drive. And anyhow, Terry and we moved to Naples, Florida. I didn't want to go. I was installing preview cable. I was paid to live in Dallas, Fort Worth, Akron, Cleveland, Washington, D.C. I was going to transfer or work for a couple of months to Torrance, California, or Tampa, Florida. I was thinking about Tampa. She wanted to be around her parents. So I packed my van, quit my job, and took days to get down there. Got a job at the Naples Beach Club Hotel. Then, within a year, I got a job at the Brasserie or Brasserie. It's French. I think we call it the Brasserie. I was voted the best breakfast cook in Naples, Florida. I could make an omelet, eggs over easy. All the plates were clean. I liked breakfast. I was a cook. I had to have heavy-duty restaurant quality pants to do that. Technique. I could fly back then. And I was down in Naples, Florida. I found some guy I worked with. I got a job at some place called Tom's on Tamiami Trail heading home. So I worked at Naples Beach Club Hotel, and this place. A few weeks I was there. I was the expediter. I used to control two cooks to my right, and one cook to my left. The fry cook. I was right in the middle, and I would say I worked the broiler behind me, and it's because it was easy, and I would have 30, 40 tickets at once. So you fire this, you're the saute chef, you're the fry cook, do this, do that. And some guy, the kitchen manager named Chris Costa from Chicago, who's Greek, he was on the other side of the what do you call it? Place where we put the food. He kept trays and put the stuff on there. I had to have people who were quick, these things right. When I worked there, that guy, the fry cook's name was Rich. And, He was real tall. And he was talking about, oh, I know a place. He and his friend, I forget his name, were talking, he was a dishwasher, we're talking about mushrooms. Well, near Broccoli, there's a field somewhere. So put your money in your mouth. Your mouth. Put your money where the mouth is, and and Scott, I got my van. Let's go. Show me. He had no idea what he was talking about. We drove around for hours. I was running out of gas, so he said, "Yeah, drive down this way, boy." I drove down about 5 miles and said, "Dude, I'm turning around and get some gas in Immokalee or somewhere. I gotta find some gas first before I run out of gas in the middle of nowhere, the Everglades." And I didn't want to run out of gas. And when I was looking at this map, I elbowed him. I looked around. I said, "See those fields? What's that? Cows." I said, "Look out your window. What do you call that?" "Mushrooms. Psilocybin. Psilocybin." So I memorized where that place was at. I didn't go in there with him. A day later, I went there with a beast bag, shorts, no socks, no shirt, tennis shoes. Picked a beast bag, about a bushel of mushrooms. Every 3 or 4 days, I go back there and pick about 50 pounds of mushrooms. Take them home, take the screens off all the windows, and drive with the fans. Give away for free. I saw some of the Mark Sneddon, my cousin, in Norton, Ohio, where you and I went, Eric, and I sent him about $20,000 worth for free. That was right. About 2 pounds, you know. Anyhow, in 2010, probably May or June, before I got a job at Chapman Printing Company. See those trays up there? The Glad trays. Brown rice. You can imagine what I'm going to say. I use a tray just like that. Sterile stuff. Brown rice, grains, corn, all kinds of stuff right there. I grew them in there. Not that one, those are brand new. Guess what he is? Guess what I grew them with? Liquid culture. I made about spores, it's a place called Spore Works. Liquid culture. Mycelia. Still alive. Look at this. Penis Envy. 5/30/2010. I grew them in one of those. Oh, that very culture. That same one has syringes. That'd be sterile. And guess what I grew them in? This same exact tote right here. That's why the hole's in there. Had an aquarium pump, air going in there. I bubbled humid air in there. With that tray full of grains and stuff in there, inoculated with vermiculite, all the stuff. A pressure cooker. Hey, you can imagine what I'm getting at. That stuff, I got about this big. I was listening to ELO, El Dorado. First time I ever did it. It was way too much. I thought 5 grams was a little bit. I had to lay down in my bed. And all of a sudden, I finally got up about an hour after I listened to it. I saw everything is in four dimensions. You know, not three. Beyond psychedelic, beyond reality, beyond of God, experiencing God, experiencing the spirit of the mushrooms, and me, in symbiotic relationship, just like Carlos Castaneda. Down one. Was it out there up at Amazon? Quickening, Art Bell. Carlos Castaneda, The Art of Dreaming. Michael Talbot, The Holographic Universe. Majestic, Whitley Strieber, The Coming Global Superstorm. Art Bell and Whitley Strieber. Art Bell just died about April 3rd, 13th last month. He just died. Art Bell. Imagine what I'm going to say. Plant growing here. Somehow. Look what I bought a couple months ago. That pressure cooker. A big, huge one. Big one. And a little one in Huntington, little Presto, that had turned all the jars sideways. Mason got a case of mason jar pints right behind that, right down there. All my seeds are in here. My garden in Huntington. A nicest garden on the east side of Huntington. Milkweed I collected all over Huntington. Save the monarchs. Plant milkweed. Right? Can't read that, can you? See. Milkweed. Right there. I collect that all over Huntington. That's clover. There's tobacco right there. All kinds of, there's my indoor greenhouse where I start seeds, all kinds of stuff. They have a garden here. Zinnias. I miss it. See, all those jars, mason jars. What do you think I bought this for? Huh? When I was down picking mushroom one day, I had to pull over to take a leak. I had I had raw shorts on, corduroys, white ones, and my wallet was sitting on my lap, in my driver's license from Ohio, from Pennsylvania, from Rochester. My original driver's license, I think, was in my was on my right here. I jumped out, took a leak. My driver's license was missing. I go to DMV down in Naples, Florida. I turn around and guess who it was? Rich Rhoda from high school, from class of '74, Moon Township. Richard Rhoda from Facebook. I couldn't believe it. Down there he was cool. Now I was a born again Christian. Now it's really annoying. I'm sorry, but I represent the Elohim. Mike Lucci, Eric Miller's house, March 16th, 1977. March 16th and 17th. Mike told me stuff that you wouldn't believe. We spent all day talking. All that night we never. And Darlene, your mother, was right there. Right there. You guys all went their way. Even that John guy, Kurt, your mom, was there. Then they all went to bed. Next morning, Mike and I drove to Denny's, that Interstate 79 towards Washington. We talked. As we're driving back to Pittsburgh, to the Parkway, and I said, Mike, why are you here? Here you are, an extraterrestrial from Alpha Centauri. Your DNA is different, it's better. We're an experiment here. An experiment on Earth. He told me about what's going on. About Jesus and Jesus' biological father. Mike did. Jesus is half human and half Elohim. They're the Elohim of the Bible. Elohim, not Mike, but Mike told me in his bedroom, it was near Kurt's bedroom with Greg's, that corner back there. He said, Lee, 4 people in our history that I know of have almost achieved 100% brain capacity. I looked at him and I said, Mike, what happens to them when they achieve that? Do they move on to the next dimensional density? He looked at me and goes, that's exactly what we think. He couldn't believe it. I said, Mike, was this a planned thing, or was this just a coincidence? Just happened a happenstance? He goes, it wasn't planned. I said, Mike, why are you telling me all this? He goes, because you respect your elders. I was in the bathroom, in your bedroom, Eric. I was I see a leak. And open the door, there's a guy named Mike. I never met him yet. That George guy told me all, but he said I was getting ready to leave a couple days before, but my brother Mike had my Raleigh 10 speed down Miami, University of Miami at Andy Span's house in Hyde Park. I had my bike rack. I was going to bring my bike down to Patsy Junction and drive it to ASU. Anyhow, that delayed me. And, well, I met a man from a distant land. He stressed the point that I am that I am. Mike was a firm man with eyes of flame, and the power he possessed put me to shame. But he said, you can do what I do, Lee. The secret lies in your brain capacity. We drove around in his compact car, the red Chevy Chevette, where he talked of life around his distant star system, Alpha Centauri. The time seemed to stop, you see, for Mother Shakti was flowing through me. He stressed the point I must relate that man should never reach the Perdigate. He spoke of past civilizations on Jupiter. He spoke of past civilizations on Mars. Are the dishes on the 4th planet battle scars? The Earth may suffer a similar fate. It's in the Bible, but they won't set the date. They will spin Earth, if need be, to put Earth back on track. Then we will implode. And if so, will we ever be allowed back? Mike was here. I met a man from a distant land. He made me high. A touch of his hand. One touch of his hand. Waist. He elevated me to more of it, to a higher brain capacity. What the yogis call Shakti pot. Shakti. For him, it's nothing. About 2 years ago, Mike achieved almost, I think Mike's gone now out of this reality. Off and on for years, I've been in telepathic contact. Mike and I talked the next morning in your living room, Eric. Your mom on the couch, with Mike and my dog Buddha at his feet. So Mike went to the kitchen. I went in your bedroom, Eric. Right before that, I sat down on the floor in the lotus position. I meditated and I started crying. And I said, Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, I was thanking the universe for this opportunity. What he told me, I used to give lectures on this. It'd take me 3 hours to talk about it. Everybody respected me. It was a message of hope. Hope. We're bringing heaven to earth. And we're not going to ever die. Pretty soon. And Edward Snowden's got something to do with it, too. Edward Snowden, the movie. Bringing heaven to earth. Pretty soon we're going to have the number one. Mike told me that the Earth is the number 2 planet in the Milky Way galaxy. Number two, so 2020 or 21, we have the number one planet in the Milky Way galaxy. You wait, and we're not going to die. We're such a hodgepodge of DNA from all over the universe. Anunnaki, the Elohim, the Greys, the reptilians, praying mantis people. I've had dreams about people, all kinds of people. I've seen UFOs. 2 days after I met Mike, I was in Barberton, Ohio, going to Madeleine Siegel's house, and right in front of my eyes was a UFO. I pulled off the Interstate 76, same road I used to drive to Kent State, and I put the fuel in a abandoned gas station and watched it for 10 minutes, just hovered like a frisbee. I said, if you're here because of Mike, we're in Mound's house, the number one UFO investigator in Ohio, a meditator. Every week I go to her house on Friday nights. Mike and I went to Denny's in Moon Township. He talked to Madeline and her husband on the phone at Denny's restaurant with me. No, he would manifest money in his pocket. I know he did, because he had keep on going like this with quarters. He would blink his here. He would go like this, just he manifested probably so precipitated. He probably created about $10 worth of quarters that night, out of nowhere. That's the kind of person he was. Powerful. He told me that Jesus, his father, Jesus was half human and half Elohim, one of their people. He told me that he contacted Mary when she was young and made a deal with her, made his fantasy about it being an immaculate conception. Because she wasn't married. Joseph was her guardian old man. Wasn't Jesus' father or Mary's father. Just, she was an Essene. Mary and Joseph were an Essene. Jesus' real name is Joshua ben Joseph. Yeshua ben Joseph. Yeshua of Joseph. So much to talk about. Everything I say is true. I represent the Elohim on earth. 2,000, back in 1979, 2,000 people besides me were given a mission. You can imagine what the mission is. Think about it. 2013, May. This is May, right? No. It's June. June 5th, 6th, and 7th, Edward Snowden released his information. This is June 6th. And June 6th was D-Day, World War II. I know the truth about Jesus. Born again Christian doesn't. Got a little taste. Anybody who's emotional and tries to shove it down your throat, fuck that. It really gets annoying. Right? Right. This August 10th or something, we're gonna have a reunion at Rotary Park. I need a ride up there because I'm disabled now. I've had 2 strokes and a brain hemorrhage, so I can't drive anymore. July 4th weekend, we're gonna have a big thing at the Midway. My first ship, downtown San Diego. Midway. Tim and Pring. My second ship, the Independence. I can't find my hat. Oh, that's a picture of me in second grade, right before JFK was shot. Did you say anything else? Did I say anything else? Probably not. Not right now. I talk. People would flock around me. Got Perkins Pancake's house by like 12 people. Bill Hamilton one time. People who got killed. Big UFO investigators. You know, about 12 of us at a table and ask me a bunch of questions about Mike. That was in El Cajon, California. I was on the Indy. Sean Landy, San Diego, arranged it. Because I went to his house for 3 hours. He had a real tape player. Went to his house and he recorded me. He interviewed me for 3 hours. The first one that happened was a guy in Akron named Larry Moyers. He was 61 years old. He worked at Goodyear. He was the same way. His parents lived with him, but never married. And downstairs he had a room with all filing cabinets and UFO stuff. In that room, he taped me with a reel-to-reel for 3 hours. My friend Dave Weimer was there. He's now a big-time lawyer in Akron somewhere. Dave Weimer. Dave Weimer, who I met at Kent State. They would work the swingers at the Coliseum, where I saw ELO Time with Terry Long, and a bunch of concerts. Yeah, I'm lost now. Get the point. Too much to say. Let's say it all once, do I? I reset my phone again. My bunch of people's numbers don't come back. Eric's, Charlie, some people I can't figure it out. Why don't their numbers come back? But I'm not the kind that you have to wind up on Sundays. I saw Fleetwood Mac in 1975 with Ambrosia at Kent State Ballroom. Ambrosia's first album was Kurt Loved, and this is Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's third concert with Fleetwood Mac. Before that, Bob Welch. So, my three favorite male singers are Bob Welch, Fleetwood Mac, John Anderson of Yes, and Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull. And my favorite female singer is Dolores O'Riordan for the Cranberries. She's died about a month ago. I love her. She died, our bell. It's been a weird last year and a half. Very important people died. But, I'm not supposed to die. Let's put it that way. Death is not the norm in the universe, in the galaxy. Most planets are so advanced that they don't die. And Mike told me that the God concept here is wrong on Earth. These guys are fucked up. That's basically what he said. I mean, he was like, I'd love to meet him again, but he's in a different dimensional density now. He's not of this dimensional density. Get it? Dimensional density. called nutational rate. Cell molecules, because you vibrate at a slightly different frequency. That's what a ghost is. A spirit just vibrates at a slightly. The subatomic particles vibrate at a different frequency that goes right through things. Mike didn't need a UFO. Mike told me that the beacon ships, that everything that there is to know about Earth is on those ships, and that he takes them about an hour to I think it's basically he has to suck himself up, and then with all his being, go over there with his body. Earth, the Alpha Centauri, or anywhere in our galaxy that I know of. But not everybody's like that. Only a couple thousand people like he on his planet. He was an explorer. But he was here to stop the neutron bomb. That's why I say that poem. They'll spin Earth, if need be, to put Earth back on track. That we will implode. If so, will we ever be allowed back? March 16th, 1977, at Eric Miller's house, Oak Haven Drive, Moon Township. True story. A lucky gold star 703. LG doesn't mean life's good. Gold star was before Samsung. Back in my first computer monitor was a gold star, big CRT screen. Years ago, they changed it to the lucky gold star. Back in 2003, people in the United States started calling it life's good. So LG put life's good on the prize. It's lucky gold star. Because gold star was before Samsung. And back in the 50s, gold star was number one. It was bigger than anything else in Japan. Beating Sony, all that stuff. Like Motorola. Now it's China. And Google and LG and Samsung and iPhones, but are almost all made in China now, are still the number one. But so much to say. 928-242-2539.